For the third year and counting, Richard Skipper has been celebrating the artists you love.
And what are some of the things that you've really run out of time? And we've got to talk about your latest. I want to go back a little bit, first of all, and celebrate a true legend.
Richard Skipper is all about celebrating life, art, and his guest body of work.
And did you pursue performing opportunities while you were in high school?
Please join us while he showcases these diverse and talented individuals. Here's Richard Skipper.
Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Richard Skipper Celebrate Show. And today is our Friday wrap-up, which means that we're going to be putting a nice big red ribbon on this week and wrapping it up in a nice package. I know there's a lot of turmoil going on in the world right now, but there's also a lot to celebrate, and that's what today is about. Now, my dear friend Lisa Rodrigo says, Happy Pizza Day. It's more than just Happy Pizza Day. It's Happy Pizza Party Day. So grab your friends together tonight and celebrate safely with a nice pizza party. As a matter of fact, I am going to give away a pizza at the end of today's show. I'll tell you how I'm going to do that at the end of the show. But all you need to do is use the hashtag resourcefulness at the end of today's show, and you'll win a pizza. It's very simple, and you'll get it. But today is also Eliza Doolittle Day. It is also Ride a Bike to Work Day. And it's Happy Be a Millionaire Day. So Lisa and Tasha, welcome to the show. Our first two participants. So Lisa, since you are the first one here, I have 6 eager friends waiting in the wings. And while I'm waiting for them to come up, Lisa, pull a number 1 through 6. Just like, let's make a deal, and we will find out who's behind one of these boxes, and we will decide who comes up. And while we're waiting for them to come up, who do you prefer, or what do you prefer? New York pizza? Chicago style pizza? That's the big debate. Regular style pizza, Sicilian pizza. What do you prefer on your pizza? You know, I love a good doughy pizza, but I have been actually dieting. So my husband, Danny, I'm going to give a plug to our favorite pizza restaurant. It's the Mountain House restaurant here in Spark Hill, New York, where we live. And we will be ordering a pizza tonight from them. It's a thin crust pizza. And I will be ordering my 2 favorite toppings, pepperoni and green peppers. So the number that she picked is 6. And that is going to, I hope she's ready. Anne Kittridge, you are our first contestant today on Richard Skipper Celebrates. And I know that this has been a very resourceful week for you because you have a brand new CD that you just released. I wanted to get the CD on, and unfortunately, when I went to your website, it was a PNG form, which I was not able to grab. But what I'm going to do here is I am going to pull up here your link so that people can actually go to your site and come up with what's coming up for you. Because next Thursday night, you're going to have a release party. But before we go there, I want to begin by asking, in addition to this CD coming out, the word of the day is resourceful. What do you feel has been the most resourceful aspect of this past week?
Oh, wow. That's so easy to answer because in the process of preparing for the show next week, some of my creative team got hit by the COVID bug. And so I have been rehearsing myself most of the time this week, and it's fine. It's really fine. It's great. I get recordings of all of tracks of everything that I'm working on. So I have the whole show on track without me singing, so I can practice with it and working on the pattern, all that stuff. And they've started to feel better the end of the week. So we did do Zoom a little bit this week, but so it was getting ready for the show on my own. Woohoo!
And we are going to give away one of your CDs at the end of the show today that you're going to autograph, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite track on the CD?
So this is what's really interesting, Richards. I am hearing my album differently now that people are hearing it, now that it's been released and people are writing to me saying, oh, this is my favorite and this is my favorite and oh, blah, blah, blah. So I'm hearing it differently. And I kind of have two favorites now. The one that has sustained from even before and to now is our version of Time in a Bottle.
Wow.
My label Jazz Heads, the president is Randy Klein, and he's releasing that as the first single. And I really am proud of it. I think it's a really, really lovely rendition. And the instrumentation is very interesting. It's piano, bass, and accordion.
Wow. Wow. That's beautiful.
It's very interesting and it's very touching, I think. And then the other one, well, I'm sorry. No,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
The other one that has become a favorite after listening to people talk to me, and I'm listening over going, oh yeah, it is pretty good, is Unwritten. And that's the way my album starts, and people are surprised by it. And I'm like, oh, that's good. So
I was just going to say that the accordion is a sound that I love, that a lot of people, you don't hear too many recordings nowadays with the accordion. So a couple of things that I want to go over with you. First of all, pizza. Are you a pizza fan?
I was a pizza fan when I was younger, but at my age, I can't really get away with it much anymore. But my favorite pizza.
Your age, we're the same age, and
I know. All right,
I'm older.
But I have to say, my favorite pizza that I still can't say no to is I don't even remember the name of it, but it's between 101st and 102nd on Broadway. I can't remember the name of it, but we lived up there for like 10 years, and they're so good, they don't deliver. You know that pizza is good when they don't deliver.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny, recently, our dear friend Peggy Eason passed away. Mm-hmm. And the last night that we were at her house closing out the apartment, I wanted to invite a few friends up there. I could not find, it's been ages since I lived in Manhattan. I could not find one place that would deliver in that area.
Really?
Is that something that's of the past?
I'm so surprised because especially with COVID and everything, I thought everyone was offering delivery. I'm very surprised.
Yeah. Now, the next thing that I want to ask you, did you get a chance to come up with 3 things that happened on this date?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and they are?
And you know what's really great is I'm first.
That's great.
I love it. So
thank you, Lisa.
The other 5 guests, I know that one of them you won't have, so that's good. One of them is May 20th, 1914. My children's elementary school opened.
Well, that's an interesting one. That's good.
Right?
Okay.
And I know that because my kids were in school in 2014 and we had a huge celebration. So it was really great.
Okay.
The other thing is someone who I share a voice teacher with, Cher, was born on this day.
That's right. 76 today, everyone.
And I actually have one of her sweaters. My voice teacher gave me a sweater of hers, and I don't think I've washed it still.
I'm a huge Cher fan. Cher and Cher alike.
Who isn't? Yeah. Okay. And then, so I want your other guests to know I really did try to find the second choices as opposed to the first, thinking I might be number 6. Michelangelo's Pietà was seriously damaged in 1972 on May 20th.
Wow. So a lot of things have happened on this date. Wow. I've got a question for you before we bring on our next guest. Mm-hmm. And the question is, this is our surprise question for today. Ooh. What's something about you that surprises people when they first hear it?
I think people expect me to be a little bit more sophisticated than I turn out to be. I think I'm very weird. I don't think people expect it. I don't think they look at me and they expect me to be, I don't know, a little bit more proper. And then they talk to me and they spend a few minutes with me and they're like, okay, well, no.
Well, on that note, you get to pick a number 1 through 5.
3.
Okay, and that is going to bring up our dear friend Phyllis Pastore. Do you know Phyllis?
No, but hi.
Phyllis and I. Phyllis has been on the show before. Phyllis is one of my favorite people in cabaret. I've said it before to her and to other people, so it's not just lip service. Phyllis, I absolutely love you, and I'm going to start by asking you the same question. I'm going to ask you first, and then I'll answer for myself. Okay. What's something about you that surprises people when they first hear it?
That I'm very shy.
Really?
You see what I mean?
Well, the thing that I would say that a lot of people may not know this about you is that you are a world-class kazoo player.
Well, I think that everybody knows that.
Did you know that, Anne?
I didn't know that. That is so cool. That is really cool.
There are so many things, but I think the one that's most surprising is that I'm shy.
Wow.
It's shocking, but.
Wow. Who was it that I was just, it was a major celebrity that I heard say this week that a lot of people think that she's very standoffish, but it's really because she's very shy. And that she has this persona of being, a lot of people think that she has an air about her that is not what she is because.
Well, that's true. Like if I go to a party or there's a large group of people, I will never go up to a group and insert myself into a group. I will stand back and wait till people come to me because I would just never put myself out there that much. When I'm on stage, it's a different story. I mean, I'm pretty gregarious on stage, but in social situations, yeah.
Can I ask a question? Phyllis, do you, I'm just curious, I really am curious. Do you enjoy being in social situations?
Oh, I love it. But I really prefer small groups of people, 2 or 3 or 4 people. One, because you can have a real conversation. It's not just all the very light fluff stuff. You can really have a conversation and you're not so worried about entertaining people all the time with your witty, sorry, my nose itches, your witty repartee. You can really have a conversation and be yourself. But, so yeah, I don't really get a kick out of big functions and big parties and stuff like that.
Okay. So resourcefulness. A moment this week when you were very resourceful.
Ooh, this has been kind of a quiet week. I've been spending most of my week going back and forth to doctor's appointments. So I suppose trying to negotiate all those appointments was very resourceful. Trying to, get as many things done in one swoop as I could so that I didn't have to be wandered out. I'm freaked out by this new COVID and now the monkeypox.
Ah, can you believe it? I mean, I heard that on the news last night. I practically fell off the sofa.
Yeah, I'm freaked out by all that. So, I kind of just try to get all my outings done quickly and get back to my little hibernation place.
And next question, pizza. Are you a pizza fan?
Look at this.
Well,
yes, I am. I am totally a pizza fan.
And what's your favorite way to have? I mean, what's your favorite toppings or?
My favorite. I love thin crust Napolitan pizza. I'm not a big fan of tomato sauce, but I really like fresh tomato slices and cheese and sausage or mushroom. But I prefer fresh tomato rather than tomato sauce.
Well, I want to
have very thin crust.
We do have a backyard that's very spacious. So everybody that's on the show tonight and other people as well. We'll do a pizza party before
Oh,
the summer's
great.
over, and we'll order from the Mountain House because they have the best thin crust pizza in the
Oh,
world.
goody.
And Danny, we also like the tomato on the pizza, which is very good.
And
So,
I like the thin crust, so we're all in good company.
yes,
all
we're
in
all in
sync.
agreement there. So, Phyllis, 3 things that happened on this date.
Okay. On this date in 1908, Jimmy Stewart was born.
Wow.
Charles Lindbergh in 1927 took off across the Atlantic to Paris.
Wow.
And let me see. In 1967, the BBC banned the Beatles song A Day in the Life for its drug references.
Wow. Well, speaking of drug references, you get to pick our next number, a number 1 through 4.
2.
2, and I don't know if there are any drug references with
I hope
Gia
not.
Doxey or not.
None at all. I wish I was.
Gia, I will tell everybody, Gia, this is your first time here, but Gia is a fellow podcaster. Gia has her own podcaster with a co-host, which is Waiting in the Wings as well. But Gia does a podcast celebrating, well, you love that word, Jersey Boys. So, and Jersey Boys is closing on Sunday. So you're going to be there, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Well, hi, Richard. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, so unfortunately, Jersey Boys is closing at Nerdworld Stages on Sunday. It's very sad. You know, Jersey Boys already closed on Broadway in January 2017. But what was great, well, here's what's really the most upsetting part about this, at least for Daveed and me, with Jersey Boys closing for the second time in New York in a 5-year time span. Because for us, you know, if you look at any piece of merchandise that about like that's really showing Times Square, you'll always see Jersey Boys on it. Except at least for Daveed and me, for how we grew up. And for us, there really is no New York without Jersey. And it's just so upsetting. But I feel like the best thing to take away from this very sad news is that, you know, at least for us, because we've been studying the show like pretty hardcore for the past 2 years, it's about 4 anti-heroes in a way, but it's all about learning how to listen to each other, you know, because the whole story is shown with 4 different perspectives. You know, you ask 4 diets to get 4 different versions, to quote the show, and you get to listen to what every single person has to say with no interruptions. And I feel like that's the best thing that we can all continue the legacy for with the show. If you are a Jersey Boys fan, if you're not a Jersey Boys fan, the main thing to know is that wherever you are, just listen to people, give them the time, and then know when to respond and when to listen. So that's my biggest thing I've been thinking about this week with Jersey Boys.
Well, that's great. And so what is the one thing about you that surprises people that people would not know about you?
Sure. I have a tattoo. A lot of people don't think that about me, that I would ever get one. I'm Italian Catholic, very conservative family. It's just not really how my family is. But when my father passed away, I got a Christmas tree with his initials and his birthday. But yeah, so it kind of has an edge. You know, I try to be a little edgy. Sometimes I smoke cigarettes, even though I shouldn't. You know, things like that.
Well, it might surprise people to know that I have a tattoo as well.
I know.
Me too.
Did that come as a surprise to you, Anne?
Yes, I'm the only one who doesn't. Told you I was weird.
No,
not at all.
There's still time, Anne. There's still time.
You know, it's spur of the moment. And we're talking about drugs before, or at least with alcohol. I know you're not supposed to do this, but I was a little tipsy when I got my tattoo. Not good. Not supposed to do that. But and you never know. Maybe one day you'll have the urge.
Yep. Yeah. Well, my daughter has a lot of urges. She's got about 5 now. So, you know.
Oh, wow.
I'm afraid someday I'll wake up and I'll have one.
Wow.
Well, for me, it was because there was a very handsome Italian tattoo artist, and I love the notion of him fondling me for an hour while he did it.
What kind of tattoo?
It's on my breast, by the way.
Perfect.
So,
Oh,
Gia,
what a night. Yes.
Pizza. Are you a pizza fan?
course. Yes.
And how do you prefer your pizza?
So this is very controversial, I would say, because I am Italian. I'm very into alternative pizza. Has anybody here had artichoke pizza in New York?
I have.
Isn't it delicious?
It is.
I cannot get enough. They're thick pizza. No, I can go thin, thick, Chicago, New Haven. I don't care how it's done. It's all about the sauce for me. So the artichoke pizza, the store, the restaurant is called Artichoke Pizza. It's a chain. Highly recommend. And for thin, there's also, my mom makes this delicious fig pizza. So it's just a regular, like just pie crust. And then just cook it with fig preserves and then put gorgonzola cheese on it. It's light, it's delicious. Highly recommend. So very into different types of pizza.
Oh, that's wonderful. So your moment of resourcefulness this week.
Yes. So I really do try to be as resourceful as often as I can be. And I would love to give a shout out to my friend Emily, because I call her the queen of resourcefulness. But really, so for me, because I'm a writer, and so I work with other writers and designers and graphic designers. So it's always being 3 steps ahead of people all the time, right? But it's not for a matter of like covering our butts, it's to actually help people. So I think that's the main thing. So I always try my best to predict what could go wrong, because what can go wrong will go wrong. So every night before the morning rush, I just get a message ready to send to people, like before everyone kind of like gets going crazy in their day. So usually every single night, I just make sure I can predict what's going to go on the next day. And then I send some tips to see how to streamline it. Yeah, very, very long-winded answer, but that's what I tried to do.
I love your life condition.
It's great.
I love it.
Well, it's more of a preventative measure. I think for anybody who has really bad luck, like I tend to be, I'm just like, no, I know this is going to happen in 3 hours. I'm just going to do it now. So I try to do that. So,
Gia, 3 things that happened on this date.
Yes. Okay. Well, you all had 2 of them. Interesting Broadway history. On this day in 2001, Seussical, the Broadway musical, closed after a tumultuous 7-month run. Very interesting. Today, Sierra Boggess turns 40. She was born May 20th, 1982. And the Homestead Act was signed today in 1862 by President Lincoln.
Wow. And Seussical, I saw on Broadway, and I loved it. Anne Kittridge has a connection with Seussical because she has an Airns and Flaherty show, which was phenomenal, which I loved. And
a little bit of tidbit too is I know that after it closed on Broadway, now it's like one of the biggest things in high schools. And Stephen and Lynn, it's not the same version that was on Broadway. It's the version more that Stephen Lynn envisioned. So it's a little tidbit.
Oh, well,
that's
see,
awesome.
That's why we love this show.
Yes,
we learn
thank you.
all these wonderful things. So you get to pick a number 1 through 3.
Through 3. Well, okay, 1 through 3. I would say 1.
And that brings us to Shelly Goldstein, who is in London right now. Hello,
Liza Doolittle-Day.
So, Shelly, jumping off point, Airns and Flaherty. Do you have a favorite Airns and Flaherty show?
Oh gosh, they're so talented. They're just, I was a Seussical fan as well. They are such talented songwriters. God bless them.
Well, I am so glad that you're here. Speaking of, you are an amazing talent yourself. One of my favorite, again, all my favorites are here today. And I keep saying that over and over.
We
and over
love
again.
you, Richard.
But I love all of you so much. I'm filled with love that you're all here. But Shelly, your resourceful moment of the week.
Do you know, it's funny. These are trying times, and because of the craziness of the last 2 years and the insanity of the last 5 years, things got rather quiet for a while, and suddenly they've gotten very, very busy. So, knock on table about that. So I told my husband yesterday that all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bunch of sticks in the living room and put plates on them and just play the saber dance, because that's sort of what life is like right now. If I can just keep the plate spinning, all the time. That's as resourceful as I need to be. You know?
Well, that's wonderful. And something about yourself that people would be surprised to hear that that we don't know.
That I'm really a tall, sensual blonde. I just hide it so well.
I was going to say
Short
that.
Jewish thing. I had to get into comedy. So, you know.
Oh my God. Well, I've always thought that, but about myself as well.
The surprise why you're not a bigger star, Shelly. I don't know.
And do you have your 3 things that happen on this date?
Oh, I do. And I just have to say, by the way, the day in the life was not, it wasn't, there were no real drug references. I mean, the BBC heard the line, "I'd love to turn you on." And that, of course, that must be a drug reference. But keeping with my Fab Four boys,
Oh, I love them.
1970, Let It Be, which we all saw last year as Get Back, premiered in the UK. That was a great thing. In 1973, it was Emmy night, and it was a great night for CBS. The big winners were The Waltons, All in the Family, and The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Talk about diversity.
When
right there.
TV was TV. And let me see, what do I want to do for the third one? Well, in 1882, because we're all theater people, Henrik Ibsen in my hometown of Chicago premiered a happy little play called Ghosts.
Oh my gosh.
It's the venereal disease play that you leave the theater humming.
Well, on that note, you get to pick number 1 or 2. Number 2.
You don't want to know about pizza?
Oh no, I did ask you about the pizza.
No,
What
see,
pizza?
this is what happens when you're from Chicago.
No, so Chicago pizza. Now,
Well, see, I want to say, first of all, the world is divisive enough. What is it about pizza that makes people go nuclear? I don't know. It's like, if you don't like my pizza, you are the worst person on the planet. I'm from Chicago. I like thick crust pizza. I like it really thick. I like it to be like a hoagie sandwich thick, you know? Deep dish, emphasis on the deep.
And with that
sausage
buttery
that's
crust.
like this thick on it, and cheese that makes it like, I want my head to be surrounded by pizza. That doesn't mean that a great thin crust pizza isn't a wonderful thing. It is. But we love what we grew up with. So
I have to ask you this because I've never, believe it or not, I've never been to London. Danny and I were scheduled to go to London prior to the pandemic. And then the trip got canceled. Then we were scheduled to go to London. I'm very cautious about traveling right now. So we're invited to a wedding in October, but I don't really want to go to the wedding. I'm very nervous about it. But I want to ask you, are there places to get great pizza in London?
It's so funny. Yesterday, somebody loves Lou Malnati's. Yay. I passed a place that said London's newest thick crust pizza place. I have not tried it yet because insanely I've been on a keto diet for the past 8 months. And so if I can't have the crust anyway, so I can just dream about it. But there's you don't really think of pizza when you come to London. There are other things, but I know a lot of great Italian restaurants here, so you come, I'll take you.
Great. That's wonderful.
I promise.
Okay. So you get to pick 1 or 2.
I'm 1. I think it's 2 or 3. So let's go with 2.
2. And that brings us up to Dave McGee, Dr. Moo Moo. This man, I said earlier before we went live, he is truly one of God's angels walking the planet. Everyone go and watch my interview with this man. He goes out anonymously giving money to strangers on the street. He's been doing this. Have you calculated how much you've given out over the years?
Well, they did an article on me, so I kind of sat down with a pen and paper. I think I'm approaching like $100 at a time at each giveaway, and I'm approaching maybe $250,000.
Can you believe this? How many years have you been doing this?
Probably 35 years.
So this is all documented. So I'm not giving tales out of school. Dave was born. I mean, you grew up poor. You grew up without, but you amassed money as you grew up and worked hard to get it. And you have the means to do what you do. So you go up to complete strangers and you give them $100 bills.
Well, what I did actually, since the pandemic, for the last couple of years now, I go out every day, and I have a costume that I put on, a smile costume. I have a smile.
So people don't know who he is.
Yeah, and then I have like a big bag of Little Debbie snack cakes, and I just go around town for like an hour or two, and wherever I'm at. I've done it in New York there before, and hand out the Little Debbies and get people to smile, and then when the spirit moves me, I will slip $100 bills to somebody that is having a hard time.
Wow, isn't that amazing? I adore you. And we, of course, have a mutual friend, Deborah Stone. Deborah Stone was the one who told me about you. And so, Deborah, if you're watching, again, thank you for bringing Dave into my life. So, Dave, what is the thing about you that would surprise people about yourself?
I play the accordion.
What are you doing Thursday night?
I'll be right over.
Now, are you in Palm Springs now?
I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now.
Okay.
I'm here to do I'm doing a bike ride.
Well, today is also National Ride a Bike to Work Day.
I'm just tickled to death about that. I love riding. I ride every day, like 30 to 40 miles every day.
So, but Dave, forgive me for what I'm about to say. Oklahoma's got to get their act together.
Oh God, isn't that the truth?
That governor,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Shameful.
Talk to that governor, please.
I know it's shameful. We're trying to make a difference.
I'm praying for your state. I'm praying for your state. So,
Well, I actually don't live here. I live in Kansas City, Missouri, and Palm Springs.
I know.
And here part-time for all three places.
I know.
Yeah, but you're right. They need prayer.
So are you a pizza fan yourself?
I love pizza. I like any kind of pizza, but it has to be have a cheese pizza with extra cheese. And there's only one way I eat it, and everybody thinks I'm crazy. I will take the slice of pizza and I peel the cheese off and roll it in a ball. Then I eat the crust, and I can say I have 3 pieces. Then that little ball stays on the plate while I eat the next piece. Roll it, that ball. So then at the end, I have 3 balls of cheese that I eat at the very end. Well, I always like when I eat something. If you ever have me over to your house and you see me eat something first, and then whatever's on my plate last, I always would eat what I don't like first, and then whatever's left on the plate is my favorite last. So the cheese, and you can't really get the full texture and everything of the cheese with the crust.
Well, Dave, with all that you do in the world, you can eat your pizza any way you damn well do. That's what I have to say. So I may even try that next time. So did you come up with 3 things that happened on this date?
Yes. Hold on. Let me get my iPad.
Everybody look him up. Dr. Moo Moo.
That answer also covers what people might not be surprised about you.
For the pizza?
Yeah.
I really, if I'm in public, I really don't do it so much. I try to be normal, but when I'm at home, I'll just the whole pizza. I'll just have like 8 balls of cheese laying around. Wait for me. I'm gonna do these in order. May 20th, 1506, in Spain, Christopher Columbus died in poverty.
That's something I did not know about him. Did any of you know that?
No.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I
either.
knew that he died.
Well, I knew.
I love it.
Thank you, Phyllis.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next thing was 1830. The fountain pen was patented by H.D. Hyde.
Oh.
And then in 1993, the final episode of Cheers was aired on NBC TV.
Oh,
Aw.
And do you remember what happened at the end of that show?
Oh my God! You know, I don't.
He was
The
left
lights
alone.
went out.
He was all
turned the
alone in
lights
the
out,
bar.
walked out the door.
He was alone in the bar.
And
Yes.
he said, "We're closed."
I remember he turned the lights off and he looked around the room and then turned the light up and walked out.
That made me cry.
Yeah.
It made me
I love
cry.
that show.
To me, that he was alone.
It was
So
sad.
I'm going to come back to you, Gia, for a moment
Yeah.
because we have someone waiting in the wings. And you know this person very well because he's your co-host. And I've asked everybody to come up with something that we don't know about them. Is this person that you share a microphone with patient?
So patient, extremely patient. Yes. So yeah. So and he's happy to be the last one to go on today.
Really? So he's
Yes.
been very patient. I'm going to bring him on, and that's Daveed Ben-Arie, and he's been waiting in the wings. He does the podcast with Gia. So Daveed, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, normally the two of you are together, and thank you for your kind words on your post about doing the show today. So something about yourself that would surprise people that they don't know about you.
I have not seen many of the world's most famous movies. I have not seen The Shawshank Redemption. I have not seen The Godfather Part 2. Gia just showed me The Godfather Part 1 last year.
I
We're
just
working
started
our way.
watching them again. I just started watching them.
I just
And
have to
the
ask you about
most
that film. Have you
so
seen The Wizard of Oz?
I have seen The Wizard of Oz. I have seen that movie many, but I'll tell you,
Okay, you're allowed to live on the planet.
people actually get mad at me. People get mad at me when I told them I haven't seen Schindler's List. And they're like, Daveed, you're Jewish. And I'm like, so? Like, what?
That's
Like,
not
what?
why
I
you
mean,
need to watch it. You need to watch it because it's brilliant.
I know. I've just never seen it. So
Ugh.
that gets people surprised and also upset. And I'm like, you can chill. You know.
There's a great episode of Seinfeld dealing
Yes.
with Schindler's
Yes, making out.
You were making out
So,
during show. Yes.
I think I remember that.
Yes, very, very funny.
What movies have you seen?
I have seen. Well, I'll tell you. So Gia's if not her favorite movie, then one of her favorite movies, My Cousin Vinny. I just watched
Never
for the
seen
first
it.
time.
Never
It's
seen
so
Shelly.
so funny.
It's the greatest comedy of all time.
will see
Gia
it too.
basically
Please.
Gia was watching it right out of the womb. Her mom looks exactly like Marissa Tomei.
It's true.
So I've seen that. I've seen The Wizard of Oz. I've seen one of my favorite movies, Whiplash, with Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. I'm a musician myself, and I've had music teachers exactly like how J.K. Simmons portrayed the conductor in the movie. Like I was in high school and I was in the jazz vocal ensemble, and we were doing a combination piece with the jazz band, and our teacher, the band teacher, took someone's saxophone mouthpiece and threw it all the way across the room. Those things cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Horrible.
So yes, that is one thing that surprises people about me. Is how
you're going to pick
uncultured
one of those
swine I am.
films, and when we do our pizza night, we're going to do a movie night as well.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Great. That'll be great.
If you watch the TV series, the new series called The Offer, which is about the making of The Godfather, it's phenomenal, and I have become enamored with Miles Teller. But I promise you that will encourage you to watch the Godfather series.
Our mine and Gia's friend Joey Russo, who played Joe Pesci in the Jersey Boys movie, he's in The Offer as well.
Oh, it's
and
so good.
Yeah. So we're very, very excited to watch that for
We're
sure.
starting it tonight. That's the plan for the
Tonight.
weekend.
Wow. And so how do you like your pizza?
So I love thick crust or thin crust, more thick crust though. There's a great kosher place in Miami. I don't necessarily keep kosher anymore, but in Miami there's a great kosher place. It's like Italian food. They have great thin crust pizza, and they have a really great 3-cheese pizza. I really love the 3-cheese. Really, really love 3-cheese. And then there's a great pizza place on 46 and 8 called Pizzeria, Perfect Pizza, right across the street from the back entrance of the Richard Rodgers Theater. They have the best 3-cheese and the best lasagna pizza.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Maron.
Getting aroused.
Wow. And what are the 3 things that happened on this day that you came up with?
Yes. So actually, keeping in theme with Broadway like Gia did. So in Phantom of the Opera, of course, we know that in the show, the chandelier falls. So the actual chandelier of the Palais Garnier Opera House in Paris fell on the crowd on this day in 1896, resulting in the death of one and the injury of many others.
Wow.
Wow.
And then in 1873, Levi Strauss and Jacob Davis patented the first blue jeans.
Wow.
And then Robin Gibb from the Bee Gees passed away today in 2012.
Yes.
One of my favorite groups.
Today is also the passing of Gilda Radner.
Oh, wow.
Was it? Oh, dear.
On this date. I was lucky enough to see her when I first came to New York. They filmed her Gilda Radner Live was actually filmed at BAM. And I went to the taping of the show, and I sat next to Candice Bergen. I had just arrived in New York, and I was so excited. It was like one of those magical nights that I couldn't believe was happening. So that was exciting for me. So we are going to give away a couple of things today. I know that we are going to give away Anne Kittridge's CD. So let's see. I'm going to pull up this screen, the giveaway tool here. I'm going to share this. And let's see, I want to make sure I bring up, yes, resourcefulness. And we're also going to give away, all you need to do is put in the hashtag resourcefulness. And we are also, I'm going to remove this so I can pull everyone back on the screen here. And we're going to give away a pizza today. So all you need to do to get the pizza is at the end of the show, you'll get in touch with me. You'll give me the name of your favorite place that you order a pizza from. I'm going to call them. I'm going to order a pizza and send it to you. So if you've got a few friends over tonight, dinner, whatever, the pizza's on me. And if you don't want to do it tonight, you'll pick the night that you want it, and I will order the pizza for you on another night. That's my gift for the winner for tonight. So there are a couple of holidays that are happening today, and I thought it'd be fun just to go around and talk about some of the holidays. And the first holiday is Be a Millionaire Day. And so I'll start with you, Anne. Being a millionaire can also be a state of mind. I don't think it's also necessarily about the financial aspect of it, but the way you live your life, the way you do things. If you had the money at your disposal, a state of mind of a millionaire, what would be your first point of action that you would do as a millionaire?
I would try to find, I would not try, I would think up a way to create an entity that provided people with a job. And I know that sounds weird, but what I mean by that is I'm not as much, I mean, we donate, of course we donate, but if I had really substantial money, it would be less about donating and more about creating opportunity.
Sounds great. Phyllis?
Oh dear. I would try to find and help other organizations that are involved in clean water for people of this earth, and particularly Haiti. That poor little country, I don't even know how it still manages to survive. The people there are just so strong to live the way they live. But clean water is something everybody takes for granted, I think, but it's has to be done.
I agree. Gia?
Yes, I think about this a lot. Lately, I've been thinking about if I had enough money to buy an apartment in New York City, I would love to have like just a place for one person to live every few months who wants to get their start in New York. So I would buy a Manhattan apartment, and whoever was like, "Hey, I really want to come here for whatever reason," they would have a free place to stay until they get on their feet. I would love to do that.
Wow, that's very magnanimous of you. I love that idea. Shelly?
That's such a great idea. I mean, that's also there's a documentary in that. There's a movie
really?
in that. I think that's a fabulous idea. You know, we all want to do so much, and sadly, $1 million couldn't do as much as you'd want it to be done. You know, whether it's water or an apartment for people or whatever. But I've just been thinking so much lately and about children and the arts and how it's been so completely decimated. And because kids who study arts and theater and music and dance and think, and that's not a good thing for a lot of people in power. So I went to a school that had a fantastic theater department and does not now. So I would make sure that there were teachers and there were classes and there were facilities for children to do all sorts of theater and open up their minds that way.
I'm so glad that you said this. I don't think a lot of people are aware that the arts are the first thing that gets cut when it comes to budgets in schools. The first thing that gets cut.
Well, it's said that it's because of budget, because it's an easy thing to say that it's somehow not as important. But every single study that's been done, and I've worked for a lot of organizations that do these things, again, if a child is taking theater or dance or arts or music, or they think, and they do better on their English exams, they do better on their math exams, they do better on science. You know, it doesn't cure all and make you, you know, Einstein and Sondheim put together, but you have a better shot if you learn how to think. It also obviously makes you more caring and empathetic to other people.
But years ago, when I was working with Carol Channing with her Foundation for the Arts, there was a school in Weston, Connecticut, which is a very affluent community. They were doing a production of Hello, Dolly. So I got involved with the students, and I was almost a mentor with the theater department. When they wanted to put new seating in the auditorium, they had to do everything within their power to raise the money, whether it be bake sales and selling magazines, doing everything. When they wanted to put stadium seating in for the football field, private entities were throwing the money at them. It was like night and day how hard it was for them to get the money for the seating for the auditorium. And it's across the board that every school is dealing with this. And I was so lucky that I came along at a time where I had great music and arts in school. And I just wish that we could get back to that across the board, in this country, that we have a reverence for the arts in this country. It's vital. It's vital.
Amen.
But Dave, with you, the question is almost redundant because you are out there doing what you do. Um, I want to ask you, you've got this mindset. Where did the mindset start for you? Because in all my shows, everybody who watches the shows know this. I end my shows by telling everyone to go out and do something nice for somebody else without expecting anything in return. And I live by that motto. And you actually do it yourself, and I admire that so much in you. But where did that start, and where does that mindset come from for you?
Well, I just can remember, we were so poor that I can remember my dad at Christmas time, we would go to an auction and there would be like a box for $1 that would be full of toys. And I'd say, Daddy, bid on that for us. And he would bid on it. And we got a box of toys for $1. And that was our Christmas present. So I can remember being so sad, especially at the holidays, for other kids as an adult, that I just thought I need to start doing something for individuals, like on a one-on-one, not so much to an organization, and see if I can make a difference in just that person. And so that's kind of like this week. I was walking by the bus stop. It was like this 70-year-old lady, and she was real sad. And she's on a fixed income, I could tell. I mean, because at that age, and she was sad because her car was broken, and she was having to ride the bus. And so I slipped her $100 to go towards the car fixing. And she was really thankful and shocked. But and I would probably, if I had the $1 million, I would probably load her up in the car and take her to a dealership and get her a car.
That's amazing. God bless you. It just moves me so much. Daveed, and you unmuted yourself. Good for you. The same question for yourself.
So I went to wow. Okay, sorry. So over my college career, I went through 3 different schools in 6 years. I was a major academic screw up in high school, and I got into this all-male Jewish liberal arts college in Washington Heights called Yeshiva University, primarily because I was Jewish. I had horrible SAT scores, horrible grades, but they needed the money. They got really screwed over by Madoff, so they accepted me, and I then got expelled after my first year. I didn't go to classes because I was too busy seeing Broadway shows. So I guess if there's any reason to get expelled from a school, that is the reason to get expelled from school. And then I went to a community college for 2 years. Failed some more classes, got kicked on my butt a few more times, and then I graduated eventually in 2020 during the pandemic from Rutgers Newark, magna cum laude, coming full circle, but thank you, realizing that I definitely was not ready for a 4-year program right out of high school, and really how instrumental that community college experience was for me to get back into the world. So, and I made a friend while I was at Rutgers who really was advocating for people to go to community college right out of high school. And I started really thinking about that. And so I think if I had the money, I would invest in the betterment of our country's community colleges because they're just so understaffed, so underfunded. And this is sometimes, I was in classes with people who were, smacked on their butt like I was, or who just didn't know what they were doing, didn't know where they wanted to be, where they wanted to go, or people who were gaining their life, who were taking their life back. I was in classes with people who were just like recently divorced, who just, they wanted to just change their lives. And if we want to help people change their lives, we have to have the right resources for them. And I think community college is such an important thing. So that's what I would do.
Well, God bless you. Well, I'm not a millionaire, but if I was, I'd give everybody watching tonight Anne's CD, and I'd also give everybody a pizza. But I'm gonna
How
give
about $100 bill?
and $100 bill, or
It's a great pizza topping.
So let's start here with we're going to give away number one, a CD, and the CD is going to go to Lisa Rodrigo. So Lisa, just reach out to me and I'll put you and Anne in touch with each other. And let's see who's going to get a pizza tonight. Now I've got to do this again. So let's see here. So I've got to do this again. How do I do this? Let me see. I know that I can do this again. Let me do see if I can do another winner. I'm supposed to be able to do this twice. So I'll tell you what I'll do. Since Anne, pick a number 1 through just pick a number. Any number.
I'm going to pick 18.
Okay, let's see here. And I'm going to count down. And let's see how I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Pam Stubbs. I'm going to order you a pizza, Pam, so that you're the 18th comment tonight. So that's how we're going to do it. So I thought that I was able to click on this twice. So, but Pam, you'll get a pizza. Just touch base with me later, and I'll find out what you like, and we'll order a pizza for you. So anyway, I want to thank you all. Don't go anywhere for a moment. I've got my closing remarks, and then each of you are going to get a chance to give your closing remarks for tonight.
No.
It can be about anything that we talked about tonight that you want to build upon, anything that we didn't talk about that you wish we had, or just any final message that you want to put out for anyone who's watching right now. The word, again, is resourcefulness. And Dave McGee, I'm going to come back to you. I'm putting you on the spot tonight, I know. But what you do is so moving to me. The fact that you go out each day. I have this calendar that was sent to me by Howard Tucker, and it's random acts of kindness. And each day it's a different act of kindness that you can pull out. Like today, the random act of kindness was sending ordering a Chinese lunch for somebody, or ordering a pizza for someone tonight, and just sending it to someone. And there are things that we can each do each day for one other person without expecting anything in return. Getting flowers and putting them on our next door neighbor's stoop, or at the front door, or picking up the phone and calling someone. I got a phone call last week from a friend of mine that I haven't spoken to in a while. And he said, I've left Facebook, but I've made a list of all my friends on Facebook that I want to keep in touch with. And I'm reaching out to say, I want to get together for dinner one night, just because you matter to me. And so these are the little things that we can do. Those are the ways that we can be resourceful. And we can reach out to each other, and we can keep this communication going. And I think it's important that we all do that with each other, and that we continue to stay in touch with each other. So I want to thank everybody for being here. If it was your first time, I hope it will not be your last. Please subscribe to Richard Skipper Celebrates on YouTube. Share this with your friends. Tell other people about this show. We do this every Friday, but there are other shows. If you are around on Sunday night at 7 o'clock, I am going to be celebrating Ava Cherry, who was a muse to David Bowie and vice versa. So it's going to be an exciting show. I love her. I've enjoyed her book, and I've enjoyed getting to know her through Facebook and social media. So I, again, end every show by telling everyone to go out and do something nice for somebody else without expecting anything in return. Go to your Facebook friends list and reach out to the fourth person on your list and reach out with a phone call. Not an email message, not a text message, not a private inbox message, but a phone call. And let that person know what they mean to you. Because as my dear friend Sean Moniger says, we're all in this together, but we're not in the same boat. And I always say, if you're going to go out in a boat, make sure you bring a skipper along. So now I'm going to pick one of you randomly. And then after you finish speaking, you will pick the next person, and so on, and so on, and so on, until there's one left person. And then when you finish, you just say goodbye, and the final credits will roll. Thank you. You all matter to me so much, and I love you, and I hope that we'll all stay in touch. And Shelly, I'm going to pick you. So you've got the next one. Thank you.
Okay. Be kind, make people laugh, save democracy, vote. Gia.
Wow. I would say, well, first of all, this was an amazing call. Thank you all so much. It's so great to meet all of you. So many talented, wonderful people. I always say, when you don't know what to do, help somebody else. I'll leave it like that. Yeah. Just whenever you get confused and life gets crazy and you might think everyone is just is upset, just help somebody. Even if you don't exactly know how to do it, find a way. Just any little. And the next, and Daveed.
Thank you, Gia. Again, I want to echo what Gia said. It was really amazing to be here today. Thank you, Richard, for bringing everyone together. It was wonderful. I actually coined a quote. It goes a little something like this. Sometimes life gives you lemons and you have to make apple juice. So do it. Pray to God it tastes like lemonade. And just, drink up. A salud. And I think I'm going to pass to Phyllis.
Thank you. Once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Richard, for including me. My message has been for a long while to just say yes. Opportunities present themselves to you, generally not dressed up as opportunities. They don't come with big signs that say, I'm an opportunity, take me. So you just have to say yes and give every situation the try. And that's how the opportunities manifest themselves. So say yes. And I'm going to pick Anne. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, Phyllis. Hi, everyone. I want to start by saying how much I love being a part of Richard Skipper's family, because I knew no one from this today. And I just loved hearing from everyone. So, and I also want to shamelessly plug an organization that I'm very grateful that I'm a part of, and it's called the American Songbook Association. I've spent a lot of time with arts and education advocacy, and this organization's mission is to bring the arts and workshops, music workshops, to underprivileged youth. We're doing it in New York City. We also for seniors, but we're doing it in New York City. We want to expand countrywide. And we just had our largest fundraiser ever. And I want to encourage you to visit the American Songbook Association.org website and support us. I also want you to know that we're not going into these schools trying to find talent. That's not our mission. Our mission is simply to expose children and to build on their own cultural capital, similar to a lot of the things that Shelly was saying. So we have a new executive director, Carolyn Montgomery, who's really kick-ass, and that's all I have to say. So thank you so much. Hey, and Dave.
I think what I would like to close with is to say that to help somebody, you don't have to spend one penny. You can just do something for someone. Probably the biggest blessing I ever had in my life was just this, probably about 6 months ago. I was in Palm Springs, and there was a little homeless lady. She's from India. and she was having problems walking because her toenails had gotten so thick and long. And she knew I was a doctor, so she said, "Could you help me get my toenails cut?" And so I went to the CVS and got some toenail clippers and sat on the sidewalk and spent about 30 minutes clipping her nails. And she was so happy and so thankful. And that didn't cost anything. So you can do something to help somebody and not spend anything at all. Just do it from your heart. Okay. Bye, everybody.